Chapter 9, Lesson 4, Descriptive Statistics here. So first problem here, constructing a line plot. So that is, whoops, let's see if I can do some drawing here, you guys. So I think that's going to be better. So let's see, they want us to draw a line plot for these numbers here. Let me switch to the line tool. So we're just going to go ahead and make ourselves a straight line. And let's go ahead and put a little arrow on each end. That just tells the reader that it's a line and it's going on forever. And we're going to have the values of 1 all the way up to 9. So I think I'll put, hopefully I got enough room there, but I'll go ahead and put in a 1, and I'll put in a 2, and a 3. And try to keep your spacing accurate with your lines, you guys. Let's go 4, let's go 5, let's do 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it looks like we did pretty good there. So let's go ahead and count those up. And let's see how many 1s that we have. So I've got a 1 here, a 1 here, and I've got a 1 here. So I have 3 1s, so what I'm going to do is put 3 X's above the 1. Okay, do we have any 2s? I don't see any 2s. I don't see any 3s, 4s. I do see I have 1 5 down here, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and identify that I have a 5 down here. Let's see, how many 6s do we have? We don't have any 6s. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to try to get 6 X's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it looks like we have 1 9 that's left. Okay, so that's a line plot. The one other thing that I would do here, you guys, is I would make sure that the number of X's that you have on your paper matches the number over here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the X's, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, just a really quick way, if you can, if you don't have a lot of plots, it's just a quick way to make sure that you got everything in there and you didn't miss anything. Okay, let's move on down to the next one. All right, next one here, we've got mean of a data set. So we've got a pet store has 7 cats. Here are their weights. So we're looking at this problem right here. Find the mean of these cats. If necessary, round your answer to the nearest tenths. So I want to go over something real quick here with you guys. You guys hear a lot of talk about mean, median, and mode. And I'm going to try to simplify this so you guys can remember this if you struggle with it at all anyways. So mean is the one that takes all the work. Okay, that's the one that you have to add up all the numbers and do the division. So I want you to remember that as the mean teacher is going to make you do all the work. Okay, it's not really what takes place, but it helps. Okay, so the mean teacher is going to make you do all the work. The median is the middle. So median, middle, median, middle, median, middle. If you say that 10 times in your head, you're not going to forget. Okay, that concrete thing in the middle of the road when you guys are driving down one of the streets and sometimes there's plants out there, that's called the median. And where do they put the median? Out in the middle of the road. Median, middle. And mode is most often. Mode, most often. Mode, most often. Mode, most often. You say that 10 times and you're not going to forget it. Okay. With a mode, you could have one mode, you could have no mode, or you could have more than one, and we'll address that when we get to one of those problems. Okay. So for this problem here, they just want to know what the mean is. So we're going to have to take these numbers here. This 7, to know that the number of cats we have is 7. That's going to be important. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So let's go ahead and take care of that. So we're going to do 6 plus 11 plus 15 plus 11 plus 15 plus 11 plus 16. And we should have 85. So the sum of those numbers is going to be 85. So we have to do 85 divided by 7 because there's 7 numbers there. So we'll do 85 divided by 7. And then 85 divided by 7 just gives us 12.14. So that's going to be 12.14. And let's look at the instructions here, you guys. They want me to round to the nearest tenths. So this would be about 12.1. Okay. Let's go ahead and do number 2. So number 2 is the mean and the median. Okay, so for the mean, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to go ahead and add up the numbers. And we're going to go ahead and get 83. So I add them up and I get 83. And how many numbers are there? There's 6 numbers. So we're going to do 83 divided by 6. And that's going to give me 13.83. So let's take that 13.83 and let's just round that to the nearest tenths. So the mean is going to be 13.8. Okay, so there's something that you have to be careful. When you do the median, median is middle, the numbers have to be arranged in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 4. I'm going to add those up. I like to cross them off, you guys, so I don't forget any. So then I've got an 11. So we have 4 and we have 11. Now I'm not adding them up. I have a 12. And I have 2 18s. So I'm going to put down 2 18s. And then I have a 20. Okay, we should have 6 numbers. Make sure we have 6 numbers over here. And we do. Now, when you have just a few numbers in your data set, sometimes it's easier. You got to find the middle number. So sometimes it's easier just to cross off 1 or 2 on each end until you get to the middle. Okay? Now, if I had one number in the middle, that would be my median. So if the 12 was in the middle, I'd have the median would be 12. If the 18 was in the middle, the median would be 18. But in this case here, I have 2 numbers that are in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 numbers and find out what's in the middle of 12 and 18. So sometimes you guys can do that nice and quick in your head, and other times you have to do a little bit of work. If you have to do the work, you just add the 2 of them together and then you divide by 2. Okay, so when I add those 2 together, I get 30. And when I do 30 divided by 2, I'm going to get a 15. So 30 divided by 2 gives me a 15. So my median is 15. And you guys could see that, hey, wait a minute. The number that's in the middle of 12 and 18 is 15. Okay? So that's how you got to do the median. Put them in order from least to greatest, find the middle number. Okay, let's go ahead and do the mode, and we've got enough room down here on the paper to take care of the mode. Most is most often. Okay, so let's go through here and find the numbers that appear most often. So I can see that there's a lot of 7s, you guys. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 7s. So I've got 4 7s. Let's go ahead and see what I've got for the 9s. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. Let's go ahead and let me switch colors. Let's go to the red. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 4 numbers, actually three different numbers. I have the 7, the 8, and the 9, and they all tie for appearing the most number of times. They all appear 4 times. So in this particular problem, I actually have 3 modes. I have 7 as a mode, I have 8 as a mode, and I have 9 as a mode. Okay, now something for you guys to be aware of is that If each number up here only appeared one time, I wouldn't have any mode. So you can't write down 0 mode like that. You would want to write down, you would want to write down no mode. Okay? If the 7 was up there 5 times, and that was the only one up there that was 5 times, then 7 would be the mode. Okay, so we can have no mode, we could have more than one mode, or we can just have one mode. All right, let's move on down to the next problem. Next one up is the range of a data set. So the range is particularly easy to do, you guys. The range is just the difference between the highest number and the lowest number. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, okay, the highest number is 53. So we're going to go ahead and do 53. And then we're going to subtract the lowest number. And the lowest number up there is 37. So we're just going to do 53 minus 37. And that's going to give me a 16. So the range is 16. All right? Next one here, finding the mode and the range from a line plot. So let's go ahead and take care of this. Really easy, you guys. So we got to find the mode. Mode is the most often number. And we can tell by looking at the line plot that 1 appears once. And these are the number of points that she missed on her math quizzes, on her last 10 math quizzes. The points she misses. So does that mean she missed 1 point and got a 10? And missed 9 points and got a 1? I don't know, you guys. I hope she didn't miss 9. But in any case, so let's go ahead and take care of this. So 7 is the most common number, so that the mode is going to be 7. And we're supposed to find the range, and the range is just the difference between the highest and the lowest. So the highest number is a 9, and the lowest number is a 1. So then the range is 8. I wonder if maybe those were my quiz scores, okay, out of 10. All right, moving down to the last one. All right, you guys, this problem here, we're going to have to construct a 5-number summary. I think it says 5-number summary and interquartile range. So it's really easy to do. There's a few steps involved, but it's not difficult. First thing I want us to do is order these numbers from least to greatest. And I want to do that, we have to do that for the median, but we're going to need to do that for the lower and upper quartile as well. So let's just start listing these off and go through them and find the smallest number. So I've got a 47 and a 48. So I'm going to put those down on my paper. So I've got a 47 and I got a 48. And let's see what comes after that. I think I've got 261s. Oh my goodness, you guys, they put them in order for us already. So that's going to make it really, really easy, all right? So I'm just going to go ahead and use this up here. It won't be as messy. So you guys take a look. If it's already in order for you, great. You're dialed in. You're going to save some time. If it's not in order, then you have to put them in order yourself, okay? So the minimum number, that's going to be nice and easy. That's going to be 47. Okay, the maximum number, that's going to be easy. That's going to be 85. Now the median, let's go ahead and find the median, okay? So the median, I'm going to cross off, maybe I'll cross off 3 on this side. I'll cross off 3 on this side. Let's go ahead and cross off 2 over here, and let's cross off 2 over here. So now I can see that I've only got 2 numbers left, and those 2 numbers I'm going to add the two of those and then divide by 2. So you can see that if I add the two of them together, and then if I divide by 2, if I add them together, I get 140. 140 divided by 2 is going to give me 70. So the median on this is going to be 70. And you might be able to tell by looking at that as well that that's going to be a 70. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the lower quartile and the upper quartile. And if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and erase the screen just to make this a little bit more clear for you. So I'll erase the screen, and then we're going to do the lower quartile. Okay, so let's recall before we do the lower quartile that our median was right there. Okay, so we're going to make this easy. The lower quartile, you guys, is just the middle of the bottom. Okay, so we're going to find the number that's in the middle of the bottom. And then the upper quartile is going to be as easy, and the upper quartile is just the middle of the top. So for the lower quartile, which is in yellow, let's come on down here, and we'll cross off one there, one there, one there, and one there. So we have two numbers that are in the middle. So we have the 61. So the lower quartile is going to be 61. Now, well, let's do the same thing for the upper quartile. So let's cross off one here and one here, here and here, and we have two 75s. So if I add 75 up and divide by 2, because there's two of them there, I'm still going to get a 75. Okay, so the upper quartile is going to be 75. All right, really easy. Lower quartile is the middle of the bottom, upper quartile is the middle of the top, and then the last thing they want me to do is the interquartile range, and that is just going to be this number here minus this number here. So it's really just going to be the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So the interquartile range is just going to be 75 minus 61, so that's going to give me a 14. All right. I actually think there's one more, you guys. Let's move on down just to be sure. Okay, so a box and whisker plot is going to require a 5-number summary, you guys. So a couple of things that I want us to write on the side just so we don't forget is we're going to have the minimum. We're going to have the first quartile. I'm going to call this Q1. We're going to have the median. One of these days, we're going to get this writing tool to cooperate. We're going to have Q3. It's actually a small 3 down there, you guys, and it's actually a smaller 1 subscript there. And then we're going to have the maximum. Okay, now Q1 is the same thing as the lower quartile, and Q3 is the same thing as the upper quartile. Okay, so these are already in order for us, so this is going to make it really easy to finish this up. So the minimum is 15, so let's jot that down. The maximum is 44, so we'll put that down over here. Let's go ahead and find the median. And the numbers, we don't have that many here, so we're going to kind of cheat a little bit, and maybe we'll cross off 4 on this side, then we'll cross off 4 on this side. I think I'm going to cross off maybe 3 more, cross off maybe 3 more. Okay, and now I can see that I have 2 numbers that are in the middle. So what I'm going to do is add the 2 of those together, and then we're going to divide by 2. And that's going to give us 26.5. Okay, so 26.5 is going to go right there. Now the lower quartile is going to be the middle of the bottom. So let's just go over here and let's just find the middle of these bottom numbers. So I can do the exact same thing. We could go ahead and cross off 2 on this side. Let's go ahead and cross off 2 on this side. Let's go ahead and cross off another one here, and let's cross off another one here. So then I can see that my lower quartile is going to be right there. So my lower quartile is going to be 19.5. And then we'll do the exact same thing up here on the top, and we'll get our upper quartile. So let's cross off 3 over here, 1, 2, 3 over here. And I have 2 numbers here in the middle. That's a 33 and a 33. So if I add them up, divide by 2, I still get a 33. Let me change that back to a red. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a box and whisker plot. And we're going to go ahead and come down to the bottom here. I'm going to do this with a straight line. And we're going to make a number line down here. So this first one here is going to be 15. And I don't think I'm going to number them all in. I'll put marks for each one. I'm just not going to have enough room. So let's do 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I still think I'm going to have to extend this, so that's going to be a 20. We'll do a 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. We'll do a 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So let's go ahead and extend that. We'll do 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. And let's go 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change color. Okay, so I like to do the median first. So the median is going to be 26.5. So this is going to be 26. This will be 26.5. So I'm going to put a dot. I'm actually going to make this a little bit larger too. Maybe you guys can see it better. So 26.5 is going to go right about there. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do the lower quartile. And the lower quartile is going to be 19.5. So that is going to be, this is going to be 19, 19.5 is going to be right about there. And we're going to do the upper quartile, and then the upper quartile is 33, so 31, 32, 33. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do some vertical lines on this for each one of those. And we're gonna do horizontal, actually, we do 3 vertical lines, and then we're gonna connect them. And I think I still like the idea of making your points a little more visible. It's kind of messy there, you guys. Okay, so this is called the box of the box and whisker part. And now we're going to put in what they call whiskers, and those are just going to be kind of extensions. They go out to the minimum and the maximum. So the minimum was 15. So I'm just going to put an extension out to the 15. And then the maximum was a 44. So I'm going to go ahead and put an extension out to the 44. Okay. So that is a box and whisker plot, and it has the minimum, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, and maximum. So I think that, quiz or test questions, this stuff might not be there for you. And then what you guys would have to do is you'd have to look at everything down below. Let me go ahead and put this in green. So everything down here, you'd look at it and the questions would be, what's the minimum? And you'd look and you go, hey, it's 15. Okay, what's the maximum? It's 44. You know, upper quartile, lower quartile, and median. Okay, so that's it. That's it for chapter 9-4. A couple more sections in chapter 9, and then we're going to be done with the book, you guys. Okay, good luck on your homework. Let me know if you guys need some help.